Hi, I'm Bethany Hardy, and I am the Director of Counseling at the Counseling Center at Burke Community Church. I am a licensed professional counselor in the state of Virginia and New Hampshire, and I'm also a mom. So I'm here today to talk about how to teach your preschooler to sleep well, eat healthy, and use the restroom and handle their emotions, which are all some of my favorite topics. So I'm really excited about this one. The first question is, should I do any sleep training, and what is the process? Sleep training is can be a very touchy subject for some people. Sometimes people can be on one extreme or the other. They're very pro sleep training or very anti sleep training. So you have to do what is best for you and your situation and your family. I personally tend to start doing sleep training around 5 to 6 months once my kids are no longer sleeping in my bedroom. And I do a method of sleep training where it's increments of allowing them to cry. So it starts out where I put them in their bed, they cry for 10 seconds, I go in, I do not pick them up, I comfort them, I pat their back, I say, I'm here, you're safe, get them to calm down, and then I leave again. And you start at 10 seconds, very minimally because they're very young, and then you make it increased increments. So you can go from 10 seconds to 1 minute, and then you can do 5 minutes, then you can do 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending on their age. And so and you'll do it for the same for a couple of days until they're getting that down. And once they're doing that, then you increase the time. So it's very evidence-based and research-based that you're not going to traumatize your kid by allowing them to cry a little bit, because they know that you will come back, you comfort them, but you don't pick them up, because if you pick them up, then you have to start the whole process all over again. So that's personally what I do for sleep training. Everyone has different opinions on sleep training. Like I said, some people have very strong opinions, so don't send me any hate messages for my method, but that seems to work best for my family and works good with both my kids, and both of them have slept through the night since they were 6-7 months old. So all right, the next question is, how can I get my toddler to eat healthy? This is probably my favorite topic besides emotions to talk about with toddlers. So I think the key is starting them eating healthy when they are 6 months old and starting to introduce solids to them. So my kids, I started with oatmeal, real oatmeal, not the baby oatmeal, real oatmeal that I just processed in the food processor, cooked that up, and they had vegetables and oatmeal, and then breast milk. So they started out with oatmeal, vegetables, no fruit, because once they get fruit, they'll never go back to vegetables. So starting very early on, my grandmother would always make fun of me because when she would come to the basketball games that I was coaching, she would watch my son, and he would have, for his snacks at 1 year old, he'd have cherry tomatoes, cucumbers, and green beans. And she's like, this poor kid. But he loves vegetables. He loves fruit now. And so really starting them at that young age where that's what their bodies are used to, that's what they're craving, that's what they're wanting. And then as they get older, I think a key thing as they're toddlers is to really not make sweets a big deal. So introducing sweets and unhealthy foods in a way that it's like, all right, here you go. Like, my son kept wanting ice cream. He was obsessed with the idea of ice cream. So one day he woke up from his nap. It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, came to the kitchen. I said, here, you want some ice cream? And he was just like, whoa. He's never asked for ice cream again, because it was just so kind of nonchalant. It wasn't a big ordeal like, oh, you get ice cream for the first time. It was just kind of, here you go, you want some ice cream? And then his obsession with ice cream was over. It was kind of the same with pizza. He was obsessed with pizza. So one day I was just like, oh, we're having pizza tonight. And we did homemade pizza, and now he likes it, but he doesn't ask about it every day like he used to. So really just incorporating it. It's not a big deal. One thing I found really helpful is just putting food on their plate, and if they don't eat it, they don't eat it. If they do eat it, great. And you can, if they eat that broccoli and leave the chocolate chips, that's great. Don't make a big deal about it. Just be like, all right, that's your dinner. that was good. And not focusing on, oh, well, you have to eat your vegetables. I never tell my kids that they have to eat anything. I say, this is dinner. If you don't want it, that's fine. You don't get anything else, but this is your dinner, and you can eat what's on your plate, or you can choose not to eat it. And so, sometimes they decide to only eat a little bit, and that's fine. Then they eat a lot for breakfast the next day. But I never make them something different. They eat, if we're having salmon for dinner, salmon and salad, they eat salmon and salad. And now that's one of their favorite foods, salmon and Caesar salad. So it also takes patience. So if your kids are not currently eating healthy, then don't expect this method to work right away, because they're not used to that. Or if they're used to you making them something else and not eating what the rest of the family's eating, then it's going to probably end in some tears for a little while. But if you stick to it, eventually they will be okay with the food, and they will eat. Sometimes they'll eat the healthy options before they eat the unhealthy options, and just don't make a big deal about it. And I think one other area would be to not, like I said before, not force them to eat the vegetables. Like, you have to take one bite, or you can't leave the table till you eat it, because then it becomes, again, like I was talking about with the authority piece in a couple other videos, that it's like that power struggle, and then they're not going to eat it just because you told them to eat it. And so it goes into this big tantrum, and which could all be avoided if you just put it on their plate. This is dinner. I think there's a study that shows that kids have to be exposed to something like 20 or 30 times sometimes before they'll even try it. So I don't know if that's encouraging or discouraging, but have some patience with it, because you might give them carrots 20 times, and on the 21st time they might try it, and then they might eat it. So all right, the next question is, what potty training tips do you have? I would say let them start when they're ready. I try not to force potty training. I know it's annoying having diapers, or having to change diapers, but if they're not ready, they're not going to be potty trained, and they're not going to want to be potty trained. So leave it up to them. It's usually boys will take longer than girls to potty train, and that's fine. So no pressure with it, because as soon as the pressure starts, then that's when the fights start. So when they're ready, they'll start to potty train. If they're a little bit older, that's okay. Embrace the diapers. Embrace that you don't have to pull over on the side of the road and try to find a bathroom when you're driving somewhere. So the next question is, how can you encourage a child to stop peeing their pants? I would say probably, again, not make a big deal about it. It happens. I know kids who pee their pants and wet their bed till they're 6, 7, 8 years old. It happens. They're probably embarrassed about it. It's an embarrassing thing. Even at that age, kids can get embarrassed if they pee their pants. So not making a big deal about it, but you can set up a positive reward system where they get a candy or something. I do blueberries, but candy when they go in the toilet. So that's kind of back to the potty training. That's what I did with every time they went in the toilet for the first couple weeks, I would give them a blueberry. Some people do M&Ms or something like that. So that way, that's the positive reinforcement. So that could be one tip to use, but I stopped that after 1 week, because I don't want them to then get too connected to every time they go to the bathroom they get blueberries. The next question is, how do you teach kids to handle their emotions in a healthy way? So this is my second favorite topic besides eating healthy. I think just talking about emotions and helping them understand emotions. So at our house, we have several emotions posters. We have one hanging up, and we have one at the kitchen table. We talk about our emotions every day. We go around the table. How did you feel today? Even when my daughter was 1 year old, she would just, make a facial expression, and so we would incorporate that. Oh, Adeline was feeling this emotion. And so talking about emotions, not making it like this big ordeal, just incorporating it into your everyday language. I explain to my kids what big emotions are, that everyone has big emotions, and these are emotions that sometimes feel like maybe you don't want to have them when you're angry or sad or feel like you're going to cry, but that they're okay. Big emotions are okay to have. Any emotions are okay to have, and we talk about if you're angry, where are you feeling that in your body? Is it in your stomach? That sort of thing. So I try to get to the point where my kids are able to express, I'm feeling this when they're in a situation. So an example would be my son was angry with his sister, and I went in and he had his fists up like this, and I said, what is going on? And he looked at me, he said, oh, I just feel so angry right now. And so we were able to talk about that and then say, okay, well, why are you angry? And then we were able to de-escalate the situation before he hit his sister. So just talking about it, I understand you have big emotions. It's hard when we don't get our way. I understand that you're feeling angry. I understand that you're sad, and it's okay to feel sad. And just sit there and be with them through these emotions. I try to do that with any emotion. If they lost a loved one, if they are sad about their toy breaking, whatever it is, embracing that emotion and telling them, okay, this emotion is okay. What are you feeling? If they say, I don't know, okay, that's okay. Where do you feel it in your body? Does your stomach feel weird? Does your head feel like it hurts? And just kind of getting them to be aware of their own emotions at such a young age, and that will really follow them through into their adolescence and adulthood. All right, well, thanks for joining me today, and join me for our next video shortly. Bye.